Hey everybody, so today we're going to be going over the leg press and exactly where you want to put your feet and how to set the seat to make sure that you're working the right muscles that you want to work in this movement. So the first thing is, it's all about angles, right? I mean, you've got the leg press here, you've got your foot position, and then you've also got the elevation of the seat. So let's talk about foot position first. As you come down, as I sit into here, if I put my feet nice and high and bring the movement down and bring the plate down, you can see here the angle of my knees is massive and I'm really folding my hips. So here the stretch around my glutes and hips is the most, right? So from here, because the hip extensors are under full stretch, they're the ones, basically my glutes and hips, that are working in this movement if I put my feet nice and high. If I bring my feet lower like that, here you see here the angle at my knees, my hamstrings are almost covering my calves, so the angle here is tiny. I'm really going to be getting a good stretch in my quads. Those are the muscles that are going to be worked the most if my feet are low on the plate, as long as my heels stay on the plate, right? Now, if I put my feet nice and close in the middle here, usually I'm going to work a little bit more on the outer sweep of my quads, like that, but usually it's just the quads really. You're really focusing on the quads here. When I bring it all the way out here, then you're working on these adductors in the middle here, and also your quads. If I bring it down, again, quads. And if I keep them nice and high again, and nice and wide, a lot in my glutes and hips, right? Now, in terms of the seat height, if I bring this seat all the way up, like that, pretty high elevation, what happens is the angle of my hips is already starting off pretty small, and if I bring it down now, you can see I'm really up against it, right? My torso is right up against my quads. I'm going to get a big stretch in my glutes and hamstrings here, and as I push up, they're the ones that's going to be worked, right? So it's still my quads, sure, but not as much as my glutes and hamstrings, right? So that's what happens when you put the seat elevation up. As I bring it down, you'll see, as I bring it down, I start off with a pretty big angle at my hips. So my knees need to do more of the work. As I come down, here, you see, yes, my body is away from my quads and my knees do more of the work. So as I push up, my quads do most of this leg pressing motion, just like that. So basically, in terms of the foot position, nice and high is glutes and hips, nice and low is your quads. In terms of the seat elevation, the higher you bring up the seat, the more hips and glutes that you use, and the lower it goes, the more quads that are involved in the leg press. So give that a go, guys.